Find the angle between diagonal of a cube and one of the edges it meets at a vertex. So we have to find out the angle between the diagonal of a cube. Suppose this is the cube, and in this cube, suppose this is the vertex. The coordinate of the vertex is 0, 0, 0. So imagine a cube with one of its vertex at 0, 0, 0. Then the side length suppose equal to a. You know, in cube each side length is equal to a, and the coordinate of the diagonal, suppose you take this diagonal, the coordinate of this diagonal will be equal to a. So the diagonal vector in this cube will be equal to ai cap plus a j cap plus a k cap, and the side length vector of this cube, this vector will be equal to a vector. So we have to find out the angle, we have to find out this vector, that means the diagonal vector and this edge vector, and this is the angle between the diagonal vector and the edge vector. So you have two vectors. One is your diagonal vector, which is equal to ai cap plus aj cap plus ak cap, and edge vector ai cap plus 0j cap plus 0k cap. So if you take the dot product of the two vectors, that is diagonal vector and edge vector, then this will be equal to d dot e. For diagonal vector I have taken d vector, for edge vector I have taken e vector. So d dot e will be equal to magnitude of d, magnitude of e into cos theta. To find the value of cos theta, first you take the dot product of d dot e. The dot product of d dot e will be equal to dot product of the vector ai cap plus aj cap plus ak cap dot ai cap, that will be equal to a square, because I cap dot I cap will be equal to 1 and there will be no other j value or k value, so this will be equal to a square. Then you find the magnitude of the d vector, that is the diagonal vector, and magnitude of the edge vector, because to find the value of cos theta, which is equal to d dot e divided by magnitude of e and magnitude of d, we have to find out the magnitude of the diagonal vector. If diagonal vector is ai cap plus aj cap plus ak cap, then its magnitude will be equal to a square plus a square plus a square square root, that is equal to 3a square square root, which will be equal to root 3a. Similarly, the magnitude of the edge vector will be equal to, you see, edge vector is ai, so magnitude of a vector will be equal to a square square root, that is equal to a. Then we find out the cos theta, which is equal to, from this, using this formula, cos theta will be equal to d dot e divided by magnitude of d into magnitude of e. D dot e we have found out that is equal to a square. So in the numerator you have a square, and in the denominator magnitude of d vector is equal to root 3a and magnitude of e vector is equal to a. So a square cancels, so 1 by root 3. So the value of theta will be equal to cos inverse 1 by root 3. So the angle between the diagonal of a cube and one of its edges, it meets at the vertex, will be equal to cos inverse 1 by root 3. And if you find out the 1 by root cos inverse function of 1 by root 3, that will be equal to 54.74 degrees. So you have to remember this angle, that is the angle between the diagonal of a cube and one edge, one of the edges it meets at the vertex, is equal to 54.74 degree.